Okay, in this video, I will share with you the trust of PR in modern life. For a long time, there are some familiar phrases on the mass media such as PR technique, PR game, PR technology. It's like a definition, a guideline that everyone understands that PR is very bad because it involves offensive concepts like scandal undressing, silly shocking statements, self-praise themselves, or show out of any media, promote and pay for the media, and etc. While in fact PR is a good concept, practical for modern social life, and there are still many unique professional PR people exist in every field like public relation. It's nothing more than choosing how to behave in a way is appropriate to the public and fostering good relationships. All individuals need good relationships. Business have good relationships with customers, investors, suppliers, local officials, journalists. Celebrities need to win the sympathy of colleagues, fans, cultural management agencies, the press. In addition, charities, non-governmental organizations, government, schools, hospitals, theaters, publishers, banks, press agencies, television, and a whole country need public relations. In particular, every individual in society needs to do public relations daily. You all have been doing PR to yourself without knowing it. Like me, also, I'm doing it also. When I send to you the videos on the YouTube, that is, I make public relations myself. You are about to dismantle to build a new house. The noise, the smoke, and the mess of brick and mortar will affect the surrounding families. They will not tolerate it and make complaints to the work together. So when it went to the neighbor's house to present the incident with a sincere smile, the purpose of preventing an imminent conflict, which is public relations. You own a small store with 3 or 4 employees. Sometimes you invite employees to lunch to give them gifts or after every business trip, which it how to similar to public relations. You are a reporter of every day. On the June of 21st, Vietnamese journalists receive greeting cards from business. Obviously, you are receiving a form of public relations. The purpose of public relations is simply to win the hearts of the masses and every move to change the public awareness, deal with crisis, two-way communication, and related specific things like organizing events, writing PR articles, writing press releases, setting up websites, and internal newsletters also aim at gaining the public's goodwill. In fact, PR has crept into all areas of human life for thousands of years, though not yet official and have not been upgraded into separate specialty. In order to practice PR, practitioners must be trained, self-research, and self-practice to equip their experience for many years with diverse knowledge including marketing, advertising, newspaper, editing, publishing, and foreign language, writing, presentation skill, website management, computer skills also. A rich knowledge of PR, if lack one of those knowledge capital, their people become unprofessional. Having much knowledge, PR cannot become an excellent PR man without enough practical experience in the PR field. If there are lack of knowledge in many professions such as education and health, tourism, entertainment, fashion, music, painting, information technology, industrial production, if there is no creativity, lack of physiological understanding, lack of spirit of marketing, and leading non-stop, it leads the same result as well. So, PR practitioners must always remember they are being observed, not just a few, but by millions of all people around. Can you lie to the millions of people who are watching you? It will be a hard question. If you want to be famous, just as many people know as possible. It's simple. then remember that a serial killer or a sick rapist is even more famous. Because just the day before the incident, the next day the whole country or even the world was already in chaos. Those who rejoice thanks to the curse scandal, but the product sells better, the folks still use the word guilty, only seeing the immediate benefit without seeing the consequence further. However, I still believe that what the press assigns to celebrities that they intentionally to do so be more popular is a bit too much. No one wants the community to condemn, boycott, or cursing against each other. They are following interesting examples. In 2010, the press continuously report and comment on the incident Vietnam Idol. That year, Judge Mun Siêu Black insulting contestant Nguyen Son Lam. Then there was a short news pouring the organizer of Vietnam Idol that no need to spend more time and money for PR techniques, but the event was still packed with information. It's true that the student was won. In the next year, the model Ngọc Quyến taking nude photos to support the environment was considered the worst PR way without any limitations. In the third year, the public way was very noisy because the voice contest and the result arrangement of music director Phương Nguyên was spread out through a recording. The press continued to comment that it was a PR tactic of an organizing committee. This is a very big mistake by the press, because after all these miserable cases, after being bombarded through many informations by the media and netizens like the middle age, and the first loss of the main characters become a man headache and insecurity, not to mention which much later harm not favorable as journalists mistakenly think. People without nerves or skills are even more likely to be traumatized if faced with such those crises. No ordinary person or any prestigious organization would want to embrace this annoyance. By public relations is to create sympathy and protect the skin, not ruining it. So we could say that most scandals are caused by careless individuals, organizations, ignorance, and lack of professionalism, and sometimes lack of luck also, thus causing undesirable outcomes of the public exchange. Even many people want to reach the goals quickly but have miscalculated the step, so they end up with having big consequences. So in that case, it will become a solution that why lies and secrets is the currency of public relations. Here's the answer. You don't have to dig too far to find criticisms of public relations as involving lying or other less than ethical practice. The normal response from the industry is denial, citation of cause or conduct, and finger pointing at isolated orders. But is lying is really an absolute do or don't do matter. In reality, doesn't everyone tell lies to some extent of regular basis? So as professional communicators, doesn't that mean PR practitioners trade in the currency of lies? Let's not lie about it. Shouldn't we examine the criticisms in more depth, and more importantly, consider how lying does fit into ethical PR practice? First, to criticisms. There is an interesting argument here. As PR practitioners are inherently partisan, that is, we are paid to advocate the particular perspective. Our communication are biased. This extends to mean we cannot be trusted. We are unethical and tell lies. That is a matter of point. But surely, if we are open about the nature of our communications, then our perspective reflects the truth as relates to our employing organization. Others may not like what we say, but that doesn't make it untrue. It isn't a matter that you cannot believe PR practitioners because we are paid to say something. Rather, it should be clear that we are saying is the particular perspective. You may agree or not. Let's engage in the dialogic and dialectic communications and examine the truth and the basis of our positions. We are not alone in presenting a good image as most people want to be thought as well of. After all, isn't that good manners? Do you share your worst habits with strangers? I think not. Rather than viewing all PR practitioners and their communication as lies, critics need to look more deeply and rightly expose practice where lying is evident. For example, in a recent PR conversation post, a practitioner questioned the use of statistics by PR practitioners. Others, here we often see the deliberate selection of facts, obfuscation, and pseudoscience. Yes, liars. Beyond these common criticisms, there's an argument of ethical lying in PR practice. Here we are talking about utilitarian ethics, that is, making a false statement with deliberate intent to deceive for good reason. This may be a good anticipation for consequences that seek to minimize harm or maximize benefits. Or perhaps the reason is a noble lie. In response to the dust of my bum or big this type of question. Sometimes in public relations we are legally or otherwise constrained from saying something or so tell some or lie in response, even of comforting. I cannot tell you at present to avoiding question that can be constructed as lying, or it is. However, part of reality is working in public relations. Of course, there can be negative consequences from lying, as PR's reputation proves. It's not also arguing that lying is or should be the normal means of communications in public relations practice. Truth and truth were closely related, but part of truth means accepting that sometimes people do lie, but their reputation should establish that they would have a good reason for doing so. Being skeptical about communication is also a good thing. Rather than accepting everything, people should ask questions, consider the veracity of the position, and test facts or other statements. That is the heart of critical thinking. Encouraging people to think for themselves and make informed decisions. In public relations, this means acknowledging for the competencies for those of whom communicate as active participants, not passive audience to be influenced by what we tell them. Exploring our statement to be tested should make us more particular about knowing the source of our claims and being able to justify if we take particular steps which others may find questionable. In public relations, we are used to making decisions about public relations and assessing the consequence in particular actions. This should include an ethical dimension, which could be based on compliance with laws, rules, codes, and so forth. It may also need to be more nuanced and reflect sometimes adhering the rules will be negative outcomes and justify a lie with could in itself withstand the air of publicity. This takes them to a second trading card of public relations. It's called secrets. We may consciously use secrets as currency in our work. For example, we may calculate the benefits of offering an exclusive story to a particular journalist of a media organization. In an age of social media, keeping secrets is very, very difficult. But there may be a good reason for keeping quiet or managing how information is communicated. Timing is a key element. It is the secretive nature of public relations that again impacts negatively on its reputation. Not that PR isn't particularly responsible here too. The practice of over-promising in pitching to clients is another form of lying, which does that we can achieve a disservice. There's no secret, magical approach to public relations and miraculously will develop results. PR cannot turn a pig's ear to a sick horse. We cannot guarantee to turn absolute disasters into a mitigated success. Let's be honest about what we can achieve. The full extent of our currency is in doing so. They may need well trained in lies and secrets. Sometimes, when absolutely necessary, that doesn't make us any more unreliable or dishonest than any other groups of humans on the planet. It has told me lies in the PR life. It also accepts others' lies even when they know they are, if when they are untrue. After this episode, I hope that all you guys could know well how public relations work in modern society. I'm Harry Hung, and it's nice to meet you guys.